Thanks so much for stopping by. Have you been wondering what 2022 has in store for you? Well, I can tell you one thing, it's not going to be just about you anymore. Stay tuned. Susan Saucier and myself and Perry Numerologist, we are going to be talking about what's coming up for you in 2022. So, Susan Saucier is back in the building. How are you?
I am great. How are you, Anne?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so glad we're together again for January. Going to be sharing what's coming up for everybody in 2022.
Oh, yes.
So you're
There's
going to be
lot.
helping us with the astrological component of that.
I certainly will.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. So I like to begin by explain. I don't know if anybody has missed, but Susan's been doing these forecasts with me for the last few months, and she is a phenomenal spiritual and transformational life coach. She is spiritsandbeyond.com. And she does fantastic readings and she does some fantastic courses and whatnot. She's got something to share with you coming up here in a few minutes. So stay tuned for that. Myself, I am a professional numerologist and I like to provide you guys with the navigational tools that you need to really tap into your personal year. But first of all, we have to tap into the universal year, 2022. Okay, so we're looking at 2022 for the very fact that it has three, count them, three number twos. Okay, so two is about partnership. It's about balance. It's about patience and diplomacy and relationships. It's about being very considerate of the other guy, kind of thing, and seeing both sides to a situation. So the focus for 2022 is definitely going to be on personal relationships, whether that be in your home or your family or your romance or your work. It's all going to be related to how you get along with them. So my theme for 2022 is going to be to help people to see people for who they really are rather than for who we wish they would be. We're going to try and leave the expectations at the door this year and start to really recognize people for who they really are. Because everybody came with their own soul's contract, which is very unique, and we're all at different levels and stages, right, of our evolution. So helping people to accept each other for where they are in their state of evolution, I think is going to be really important in 2022. So when we look at the number 2022, the 20 relates to, of course, the century, right? So this century has been a lot to do with partnerships, the 2 and the 0. It's bringing in a need for more of an intuitive look at our relationships rather than the way we've been doing it before. And when we look at this past year of 2021, the 2 and the 1 adds to a 3. So the 3 has been about expressing ourselves. It's about talking about things. It's about making our feelings known. It would have really asked us to be a little bit more interested in being social, right? And during COVID, of course, that's been very difficult. Now, I think in 2021, things lightened up a little bit rather than 2020 when it was a complete, storm. But 2021 brought in the 5 universal year, which was about change and transformation and about, looking for expansion, things like that. So that 2 and the 1 was significant, but we're leaving the 2 and the 1 and we're coming into the 2022. So the 22, this now brings in a need to create foundations, right? It's a master builder number. So we have 2022. 20 relates to the century and the 22 relates specifically to the year itself. So this is about the master energy of the 22, which is about partnership. Okay, once again, it brings in a need for partnership and creating foundations around our partnerships, re-examining them. If they're not doing so well, what can we do to improve upon them? When we look at 2022 and we add the 3 number 2s together, it adds to 6. So the umbrella influence of next year is going to be related to the family because it's a 6, right? So it's going to be about family, domestic responsibility, your own personal responsibility. It's going to be about balance, establishing balance, especially as it relates to all of these relationships. And there's going to be a need. Many of us will have a need. Oh God, I hope not me, because I work every day on this, is to release that need for perfectionism. And perfectionism brings in judgment. And the 6, unfortunately, tends to bring in a little bit of judgment. So we've got to learn how to kind of step back from that and to accept each other for where we're at. So I'm really hoping that people will work very hard on being a little bit more cooperative, a little bit more balanced, a little bit more forgiving. Let's nurture each other. That's what the 6 is all about. Rather than beating each other up, let's see each other for who we are and forgive each other for not being more than what we think we should be, or more than what we think they should be, right? Staying in the moment. So it's understanding people at a much different level, with a level of illumination, if you will. What else was I going to share with you about that? It is, when we think about the number 6, we think about the need to be of service. So many of you are going to go into 2022 with this, unfounded need to be of service. And so I want to remind you that the 6 always asks us to be a little bit more balanced. That means taking more for yourself. And that's hard to do for many people, especially 6s who feel like they have to be there for everybody else. But think about, when you're on an airplane, right? And something's going wrong and the masks drop. What do they tell you to do? Take the mask and put it on yourself first, right? You've got to feed yourself first, or you've got nothing to feed anybody else. You can't take care of somebody else unless you take care of yourself first. So that's kind of the theme for 2022. Now, the actual month of January, January being the first month in a 6 universal year, because 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. So 1 plus 6 comes to 7. So the actual overall umbrella of January 2022 is going to be a 7. So this is going to be a good time for all of us to kind of take a step back, take a breath, maybe after the holidays, get some quiet time, because the 7 asks you to be introspective and reflective and, figure out your next move. So it's a really great time to set yourself up for success for 2022 if you'll take a bit of a chill pill, a little bit of a time out in January. So I hope that everybody really takes heed of that and uses it to their best advantage. And maybe that'll be a little bit of a navigational tool for them moving forward.
Definitely.
What do the planets have to say, Susan?
Well, it's interesting how they always work together.
Yeah,
So, it's interesting because we're starting a new year, so everybody's into, New Year's resolutions, the whole bit, but it doesn't always have to happen at New Year's. You can always do it a little bit before. The winter solstice is always a great time to go ahead and put in your intentions. But we do have a new moon on January 2nd. So it's right around that new year. And new moons are all about bringing in, new intentions and new beginnings. What do we want? So I would highly suggest you take advantage of that, because it's going to be pretty powerful, considering it's right at the beginning of a year as well. And that's going to be in Capricorn. Capricorn's known for ambition and discipline and persistence. So, you're going to have that motivation to do so as well. And then we also have the full moon, which is going to be in Cancer, and that is on January 17th. Now, the full moon in Cancer, let's think about this. The full moon is emotional, and so is Cancer. So it's going to really be escalated. You're probably going to really feel it very intensely, but it's pushing us to tap into our emotions, to feel what we really need to release, and let go of, because a lot of us are carrying so much baggage. And 2 things that I feel go along with what you were talking about, Anne, is that we have Venus and Mercury in retrograde. Okay, so Venus has been in retrograde since December 19th and will be there till January 29th. So Venus is all about, money and love and beauty and relationships and values, right? So I feel like it's already started. So when we're in retrograde, it means we are reassessing, we are reevaluating, we're rethinking and redoing. So it is a good time to really sit back and, think about your relationship with others, think about your relationship with yourself, and think about your relationship with money. Some people, I feel like this is going to be a year where you're going to be paying attention to a lot of those things, right? We're going to be paying attention to our relationship with ourselves, relationship with, just everything in the world is important when we are focused on what we need inside, right? And I feel like when you mentioned that we really need to pay attention to how we are dealing with other people and stop judging That's
Mm,
so huge. And I know a lot of people have trouble with that, but I feel like 2020 kind of made us all go inside and really have to work. We're stuck with our family, stuck with whatever, and there you are, right? Then the next year, 2021, this year, we've been through so many changes. What have we needed to push out of the way? What do we need to bring in and move and whatnot? And now, as we're going into this next year, it is about nurturing not only ourselves, but everyone else around us in partnerships, as you said. How can we be supportive to everyone, and not just ourselves? If you're not in agreement or in alignment with someone, you don't need to force it down their throats. I always say, if you like Pepsi or you like Coke, what's the big deal?
yeah. It's a
Okay. But
life and
when it
death
comes to
decision here.
something else, people go crazy. And it's like, you stay in your own lane. That's I think going to be one of the things for, January also, and going into 2022. We'll be staying in our own lane and realizing, is that mine to take care of? Is that not mine? Because we tend to, jump in sometimes a lot without thinking it through. So with Venus being in retrograde till the 29th of January, so you get the whole month of January pretty much where you're reevaluating your relationships. And again, think about with yourself, not just everyone else you're with, but how are you treating yourself? And then we go to Mercury retrograde, which starts on, I think it's January, is it the 30th? Mercury retrograde, yeah, January 30th. Want to make sure, right? Mercury retrograde starts January 30th. However, the pre-shadow phase is January 15th. And to me, it's still like the same. We're talking, it's still going to be an issue. So, and it goes till February 20th, and the post-shadow is going to be till March 13th. So I always like to tell people, think January 15th through March, 13th. Then
Yeah.
you're covered. So Mercury retrograde, again, reassess, reevaluate, but it has to do with communication, has to do with electronics and all that stuff. So you want to pay attention to how you're texting, how you're emailing, and since we're talking Venus, we're talking relationships, how many of us have, accidentally sent the wrong text that was meant for a friend or someone, and it goes to a partner and they're like, oh, so this is what you think of me or whatnot, right? And it can be sticky. So you want to pay attention. Also, if it's something really, really important and maybe delicate, you want to, make the phone call if you can, as opposed to sending a text or an email, or meet in person, because there's no tone when we text or email, and people can take it so out of context, especially during this phase. So I would say, along those lines, just to really focus on January as being new beginnings of how you want to treat yourself, how you wish to be treated by others, and also pay attention how you're talking to yourself, because that's also communication and self. Venus and Mercury are really playing a big part as we step into this new year. And that's just kind of a sample of what 2022 is going to be like, So,
Well, it's interesting that you're saying about the sensitivity, because the hypersensitivity, because the two, and we've got three of them in 2022, is all about sensitivity.
yeah.
It brings in extreme sensitivity. So, but it's also, I feel, don't you feel that this year of 2022 could be really great for relationships, for people to find new relationships?
Absolutely. I feel it's either breakup or makeup year,
Yes, I do too.
And the reason it's happening, it's all positive, because if you're breaking up, it's meant to happen. You're not in alignment with this person. If you're making up, then you're getting another chance with someone, where you're both valuing each other enough, because this is all about value too. You're valuing each other enough to be respectful of, what are your needs, what are my needs, how can we meet in the middle? Balance, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think new, I feel like, especially in the spring, I just feel like the spring is going to be great for people who are looking for new relationships.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. You're
Yep.
right.
And it's just getting yourself where you need to be to welcome in that new person, right?
Exactly.
Get
So
rid
what
of
have
the.
you got coming up?
Well, I have a new course that I'm offering that starts on 2022. So it's February 22nd of 2022. So I'm excited about it. It is called Step into Your, Step into Your Magnificence and Transform Your Life. So it's going to be 4 weeks. We'll meet 2 hours each week on Zoom on Tuesday evenings, and also we'll be covering all kinds of things from, how to manifest the power of your subconscious mind, learning about your spirit team, your physical team, and how they impact who you are, your inner child, and doing some work with the inner child. Also, you'll receive like guided meditations that will be based for the week that you're doing, and some inspiration, affirmations, and all kinds of goodies. Yeah.
Wow. And it's a limited number of people that
It
can join
is. It
this.
is. I want to keep it cozy so that I can, dedicate my time to each person,
Right.
as well. And you also do get one private session with me in this bundle. So,
Wow.
yeah, because I want to really get to, just dig in and help people. So I figured 8 is a good number to start with. Keep it nice and cozy so that we don't get overwhelmed and we can all become, our nice little group that we need to be. Yeah. So it is
Perfect.
limited space, and we do have some people that have already signed up. So if you're interested,
Get on it.
there's the link. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Get on it.
exactly.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting. That's exciting. What a great way to really launch 2022.
Yeah, it's time for
Um,
me to get that.
I've got a program too that's coming up. It is on January 17th, 24th, 31st, and February the 7th. And it relates to learning how to speak numbers in your business. So this is about taking numerology and blending it into your existing business. So if, for example, you're a massage therapist who wants to know your clients a little bit more intimately, just knowing simply their first name or just their date of birth or the first vowel in their birth name, things like that can give you tons of valuable information to help you to really connect with your clients without, having to do too much. And your clients will thank you for it because it shows that you really care and that you're really interested in them. So it's for me, it worked really well when I had my Reiki practice years ago, and it just really helped with the client retention. Um, my clients stuck around for a long time because they knew I just kind of had the inside scoop. So, but you can check it out on my website as well. It's
I
Ann.
think that's fantastic. I have to say that I have done some courses with Anne, and I do use some of those tools, and it
Cool.
just helps tremendously because it gives me even more insight
Yeah. Yeah.
into characteristics. So I
Yeah. Well,
love it.
good. And I appreciate you saying that. We've got actually we have a psychic medium who's coming into the program. We have a psych nurse. We have a human resources manager. There's all kinds of people. And my course is only open for 8 people as well. So there's not a lot of seats left in it, but I do have a few seats open. So, yeah, love for you guys to consider it. So you got lots of options this year of good stuff to do with Susan and myself. And of course, we'll be back in February doing our what's coming up for you in February of 2022.
And I do
So,
have one card, if I may
oh
share,
yeah, of course.
right? Because I got some new angel cards.
Yeah.
How that
Oh,
looks, right?
beautiful.
Affirmations. Be aware of your language and thoughts. The most powerful statement you can ever make, think and feel, is thank you. Be grateful for all the blessings in your life as we acknowledge the divine order of life. The universe responds with every great blessing. You are a powerful creator. All you say and think resonates through the heart of creation, and creation responds accordingly.
Wow, Spirit knew how to pick that one.
Yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
was like, I had just glanced at it when you were talking. I said, "Oh, I have to share this card that I just picked because it's going to be really how we're thinking and feeling and tapping into all of that."
Cool. That is very exciting. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm super pumped for
Yeah.
this year, and I'm grateful that you and I are working together, and that we're able to share what we can each month. And if this video has spoken to you guys, we sure would appreciate you sharing it because our mission in life is to inspire people and to motivate you if you're feeling kind of stuck, give you some reasons to keep on going, and maybe these videos will be great navigational tools for you. So
Absolutely.
thanks, Susan. Really appreciate your time.
You're
And
welcome. Thank you for having me.
anytime, every time. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you all in 2022. Take
Yes.
care. Love you all. Bye for now.
Bye.